The bone is fine, but the tendons have fused with the humerus.
Is that bad?
It's unusual.
Released on July 7th, 1993, Rookie of the Year is a sports comedy about a 12-year-old boy named Henry Rowengartner who breaks his arm catching a fly ball at school, and when the cast comes off, discovers that his tendons have healed too tight, giving him the ability to throw a baseball at over 100 miles an hour. The film grossed $56.5 million, and it made the kind of impression on 12-year-olds that only movies seen at the exact right age can make. So where did they all end up? Gary Busey was born William Gary Busey on June 29, 1944, in Goose Creek, Texas, and grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where his father worked in construction. Before acting, he was a professional drummer who played in the bands of Leon Russell, Chris Christopherson, and Willie Nelson. His first film roles were as bikers and rednecks in exploitation films. Then, in 1978, he was cast as Buddy Holly in The Buddy Holly Story, losing 32 pounds for the role, learning to play guitar in Holly's specific style, and performing all the vocals himself, and was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor. He was up against Jon Voight in Coming Home, and lost. He plays Chet the Rocket Steadman, the aging Cubs pitcher past his prime who becomes Henry's unlikely mentor, a role that depends on a specific kind of weathered dignity that Busey has always been able to access. On December 4th, 1988, Gary Busey was riding his Harley-Davidson without a helmet in Culver City when he hit a patch of gravel, was thrown over the handlebars, and struck his head on a curb. He fractured his skull and suffered a severe subdural hematoma. He was in surgery for hours and spent over a month in recovery. The traumatic brain injury, he and his doctors have said, weakened his impulse control and his executive functions permanently. He had been a vocal opponent of motorcycle helmet laws before the accident. He became an advocate for them after. He also survived a cocaine overdose in 1995 and a sinus tumor that was removed in 1997. In August 2022, he was accused of groping multiple women during a fan convention appearance in New Jersey. On July 31st, 2025, he pleaded guilty to one count of criminal sexual contact and was sentenced on September 18th, 2025 to 2 years probation. He is 81 years old as of March 2026. Albert Hall was born on November 10th, 1937 in Brighton, Alabama, a small steel town near Birmingham. He graduated from the Columbia University School of the Arts in 1971. The same year he appeared off-Broadway in The Basic Training of Pablo Hummel and on Broadway in Melvin Van Peebles' Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death. He came to mainstream attention as Chief Phillips in Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, 1979, the chief petty officer who leads the patrol boat up the river into Cambodia, the one who sees clearly what is happening before almost anyone else does. Some of his dialogue in the extended Apocalypse Now Redux cut was semi-improvised. Years later, when his co-star Jeffrey Wright told him the film was his favorite, Hall gave him a book and wrote inside, "Jeffrey, evolution is when a young actor comes up to you and says, 'I've seen your work 100 times and it has meaning to me.'" He plays Sal Martinella, the Cubs manager who gets Henry's name wrong every single time he says it, a running gag that Hall plays with the deadpan weariness of a man who has accepted that the universe does not respect him. After the film, Albert Hall continued in Malcolm X, 1992, Ali, 2001, as Elijah Muhammad, Beloved, 1998, Devil in a Blue Dress, 1995, and recurring television roles in Ally McBeal and The Practice as Judge Seymour Walsh. His last screen credit was a 2011 episode of Men of a Certain Age. He retired from acting and has maintained a private life since. He turned 88 in November 2025. Thomas Ian Nicholas was born on July 10th, 1980, in Las Vegas, Nevada, and was raised by his mother alone. She worked as a casting director for background actors in low-budget independent films, which meant her son grew up on film sets without ever being pressured into them. His earliest credit was playing a young Tony Danza on Who's the Boss, and by 12, he was cast as the lead of a major Disney feature. He plays Henry Rowengartner, the least athletic kid in his class who becomes, by biological accident, the best pitcher in the major leagues, a character whose charm depends entirely on remaining a genuine 12-year-old throughout, which Nicholas pulls off with complete naturalness. After the film, Thomas Ian Nicholas appeared in A Kid in King Arthur's Court, 1995, before being cast at 18 as Kevin Myers in American Pie, 1999. 1989. The romantic, earnest one in a film full of characters defined by their worst impulses, which he played with enough warmth to make the whole enterprise feel earned. He appeared in all 4 theatrical American Pie films. He is also a musician and has led the Thomas Nicholas Band through 7 studio albums, most recently We're Gonna Be Okay, 2024, and toured the UK supporting Wheatus in late 2025. He appeared in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, 2024. He separated from his wife in 2022. He is 45 years old as of March 2026. Amy Morton was born in Oak Park, Illinois in 1958 or 1959. Her exact birth date has never been publicly confirmed. She attended but did not graduate from Triton College or Clark University and has spent most of her adult life working in Chicago theater, where she is regarded as one of the finest stage actresses of her generation. She became a member of Steppenwolf Theater Company in 1997 and made her Broadway debut in 2001 as Nurse Ratched opposite Gary Sinise in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She plays Mary Rowengartner, Henry's mother, the woman managing a household alone, cheerfully skeptical of the sports agent who starts courting her, trying to keep her son, a 12-year-old, for as long as possible, while the entire Chicago Cubs organization pulls the other direction. After the film, Amy Morton originated the role of Barbara in Tracy Letts' August Osage County, first in the original Steppenwolf Chicago production, then on Broadway, earning a Tony Award nomination for Best Actress. She received a second Tony nomination for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in 2013. She has been Sergeant Trudy Platt on NBC's Chicago PD since 2014, now in its 13th season, still appearing in 2025. She is married to composer Rob Milburn and lives in Lincoln Square, Chicago. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We release new Where Are They Now videos every week. Dan Hedaya was born Daniel G. Hedaya on July 24th, 1940, in Brooklyn, New York, to a Sephardic Jewish family whose origins were in Aleppo, Syria. He grew up in Bensonhurst and earned a degree from Tufts University in 1962. For 7 years after graduation, he taught English and mathematics to junior high school students in New York City, supplementing his income by waiting tables and managing a floral shop before committing to acting full-time in 1973. His physical similarity to Richard Nixon eventually led to his being cast as the former president in the 1999 film Dick, a role he has described as one of the stranger coincidences of his career. He plays Larry Fish Fisher, the Cubs' scheming general manager whose entire interest in Henry is attendance figures, the kind of sports executive whose enthusiasm for the game runs exactly as deep as the revenue projections. After the film, Dan Hedaya continued what was already a long career as one of Hollywood's premier character villains and comic foils: The Usual Suspects, 1995, Clueless, 1995, as Alicia Silverstone's exasperated father, Mulholland Drive, 2001, and over 140 film and television credits in total, including Nick Tortelli on Cheers and its spin-off, The Tortellis, Hill Street Blues, and most recently Miracle on 74th Street, 2025. He is 85 years old as of March 2026. Bruce Altman was born on July 3rd, 1955, in the Bronx, New York, and is a 1990 graduate of the Yale School of Drama. He studied in New York with the late character actor William Hickey, and at the William Esper Studio before working extensively off-Broadway and eventually crossing into film and television. He has been married to Darcy McGraw, a lawyer and law professor, since 1982. Their daughter Anna died in New Haven, Connecticut in November 2013 at the age of 24. He plays Jack Bradfield, the slick sports agent who immediately begins exploiting Henry the moment the Cubs sign him, a role that requires pure, efficient villainy, and which Altman delivers without a wasted movement. After the film, Bruce Altman built one of the more consistent behind-the-scenes presences in American film and television. The character actor you notice without always knowing his name. He appeared in Glengarry Glen Ross, 1992, Matchstick Men, 2003, Girl Interrupted, 1999, Ozark, Mr. Robot, Blue Bloods, and most recently the horror thriller The Home, 2025, with Pete Davidson, produced by Lionsgate. He continues to work actively. He is 70 years old as of March 2026. Eddie Bracken was born Edward Vincent Bracken on February 7th, 1915, in Astoria, Queens, New York, to a family with no money for music lessons, which meant nothing because he was an instinctive entertainer from the start. He was performing for chapters of the Knights of Columbus by age 9, appeared in a short silent film series called The New York Kitty Troopers, and made his Broadway debut in 1933. He starred on Broadway, in radio, and in 2 Preston Sturges films, The Miracle of Morgan's Creek, 1944, and Hail the Conquering Hero, 1944, that are among the great American war-era comedies, and both of which have been preserved in the National Film Registry. At his peak during During World War II, he was one of the most famous comedy actors in America. He plays Bob Carson, the eccentric Cubs owner, an old man who has survived so many losing seasons that he cannot quite process the idea of a 12-year-old pitcher, and who is charmed by it for exactly that reason. Eddie Bracken left Hollywood in 1953 for the stage, and spent the rest of his career alternating between Broadway, Hello Dolly, The Odd Couple, Sugar Babies, and occasional returns to film, including a beloved appearance as Roy Wally, the founder of Wally World, in National Lampoon's Vacation, 1983, and as the toy store owner Mr. Duncan in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, 1992. His wife of 63 years, Connie Nickerson, a former actress he had met in a road company production of What a Life in 1938, died in August 2002. Eddie died 3 months later, on November 14, 2002, of complications from surgery at the age of 87. He had 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Daniel Stern was born Daniel Jacob Stern on August 28, 1957, in Bethesda, Maryland. His father was a social worker during the Kennedy and Johnson administrations. His mother ran a daycare center. During high school, he played C.C. Baxter in Promises and Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof. He applied for a job as a lighting engineer at the Washington Shakespeare Festival in Washington, D.C., and was accidentally hired as a walk-on actor instead. He appeared in Breaking Away, 1979, Diner, 1982, Hannah and Her Sisters, 1986, and dozens of other films before landing Marv Merchant's The Taller, Dumber, More Talkative of the Two Burglars. In Home Alone, 1990, he was nearly paid only a fraction of what he eventually received. A salary dispute almost cost him the role, a decision he has called one of the stupidest near misses of his career. He voiced the adult Kevin Arnold on The Wonder Years from 1988 to 1993. He also directed this film, his feature directorial debut, which he has said was made possible by his relationship with the production company from Home Alone. He plays Phil Brickma, the pitching coach who was beamed by Chet Steadman in the minor leagues and has been following him around ever since. After the film, Daniel Stern continued acting. City Slickers 2, 1994, Very Bad Things, 1998, Shrill, 2019, For All Mankind, 2023 to 2024, while also becoming a bronze sculptor, creating public art installations across California, and publishing a memoir, Home and Alone, 2024, about his career. He was also originally offered the voice of Dale Gribble in King of the Hill, and turned it down over a salary dispute, which he considers the actual stupidest near miss of his career. On December 10, 2025, he was cited by Ventura County law enforcement in a prostitution sting operation in Camarillo, California. He was not arrested. The charge was subsequently dismissed. He is 68 years old as of March 2026. Neil Flynn was born Neil Richard Flynn on November 13, 1960, on the south side of Chicago, to Irish Catholic parents. 5 siblings. His family moved to Waukegan, Illinois, where in 1978 he and a classmate won an Illinois State Championship for humorous duet acting. He graduated from Bradley University in Peoria, went back to Chicago, and worked for years in Steppenwolf, the Goodman Theater, the Second City, and Improv Olympic before landing small film roles in Major League, 1989, The Fugitive, 1993, in which he was killed by the one-armed man in a train scene that The Wonder Years later used as a sight gag, and this film. He auditioned for Scrubs in 2001 for the role of Dr. Cox, which had already been earmarked for John C. McGinley. He was handed the script for The Janitor instead, a character intended for 1 episode only. He plays Oki, one of the Cubs' pitchers, the one most vocally unimpressed by Henry's presence on the roster. After the film, Neil Flynn got the janitor role on Scrubs, which ran for 8 seasons, and which the writers essentially let him make up as he went. Scripts frequently included stage directions noting only, "Neil says something funny here." He spent 9 seasons on the middle, 2009 to 2018, as Mike Heck, the stoic Indiana dad, earning a Critics' Choice Television Award nomination. He has appeared in the Apple TV Plus series Shrinking as a Patient of Harrison Ford's character since 2023. He is 65 years old as of March 2026. Robert Gorman was born Robert Hy Gorman on April 3, 1980, in Los Angeles, California, and was acting at 7, first in Unsold Pilots, then in Designing Women and My Sister Sam, then in a recurring role as Michael Channing on the primetime soap Falcon Crest from 1988 to 1990. He appeared in The Accidental Tourist, 1988, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, 1991, Forever Young, 1992, alongside Mel Gibson, and Leprechaun, 1993. Before Rookie of the Year, he plays Clark, Henry's best friend, the kid on the outside of the glass, the one who watches Henry's life change from a distance and tries to stay connected. After the film, home, Robert Gorman continued acting through the mid-1990s, with recurring roles on Joe's Life, 1993, and The Home Court, 1995 to 1996, before largely stepping away from the industry as he approached college age. He attended Wake Forest University. His final screen credits were small roles in George Clooney's Leatherheads, 2008, and an episode of One Tree Hill in 2009. He is now a wealth management advisor based in South Carolina. He is 45 years old as of March 2026. The Cubs had not won a World Series since 1908 and would not win one until 2016, 23 years after Henry Rowengartner theoretically fixed everything. John Candy, who appears uncredited as the Cubs radio announcer Cliff Murdoch, took the role as a personal favor to Daniel Stern, who was struggling to cast the part. Candy died of a heart attack 7 months after the film's release, on March 4th, 1994, at the age of 43. His character, like the film itself, is cheerful about a losing franchise's sudden good fortune, which makes his absence from everything that came after feel a little like the movie itself. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest Where Are They Now? Videos exploring your favorite casts from the past.